All right, guys, it's another Sunday Night Live session. I am the editor-in-chief of the Watercraft Journal. My name is Kevin Shaw, and we do this every Sunday night for some unknown, godforsaken reason, and apparently you guys like it. So I guess we're going to keep on doing it. But yeah, so we first and foremost, if you are new, the Watercraft Journal is a digital personal watercraft magazine. We publish new articles every day, Monday through Friday, entirely subscription free to you. You don't need a password to log in. You don't need a special app to access it. We are incredibly mobile friendly. So if you've got internet access, you can read the magazine. We publish industry news, watercraft reviews, event coverage, all sorts of kind of fun stuff. So we used to do race coverage. We haven't done a lot of race coverage this year because racing's really kind of taken a hit. But other than that, this and the YouTube channel is kind of fluff. I do this for fun, but the main meat and potatoes of the magazine is over at watercraftjournal.com. That is where all the articles are published. That's where all the videos are shared that matter. And we have all of our social media that takes you back to the magazine. So go to the magazine. And if you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter. Newsletter goes out every Friday with all the articles. And then every Monday, we put out another newsletter with all the videos for the week. So it's kind of a recap. So if you don't want to sit there and visit every day, which, I mean, it'd be cool if you did. It'd be a lot cooler if you did. But if not, you can just get the newsletter, get everything there. So easy enough. Got a few little bits of news to go over, little bits of business to go over first. And we will then get into tonight's total flaming dumpster fire of bad news. And it's all going to be bad news bears today. So hope you're ready. Okay. I just got the draft. In fact, here's the file. I'm going to move it over here. Woo! Look at it move. That file is the review of the 2022 Kawasaki 310X. In ice metallic blue or electric blue, or metallic electric blue. Billy's here, everyone. We're gonna take a break. Everyone say hi to Billy. We can get a drink before we get going. Everyone say hello to Billy. All right. All right. So this review that I've got here, let's cue it up. Yeah, just as a tease. This review is personally one of my favorite reviews. We're adding a little bit more B-roll to it. Thank you to JD's Waterworld, who grabbed some footage for us that we just simply couldn't get while we were out at Lake Mead. So we're inserting a little bit more content, and I'll have the final draft probably this time tomorrow. And it will be published along with the written review and pictures Wednesday morning. So expect this review on the X, the 310X, which I immeasurably, demonstrably, what other multisyllabic word can I use? So much preferred over the LX, I cannot articulate. The X over the LX. Now, I know the LX is the Queen Bee, top of the line, luxury, full tilt, check every box. For my dollar, I do 310X so much better. The only change I would make is I would personally put the USB plug in the glove box. Now, what things would I change? You can listen to last week's fuming white froth coming out of my mouth rant that I did on what things would I modify on skis. You can listen to that one. But the only if I was to purchase a ski, it would be this ski. If Kevin Shaw was to purchase any runabout on sale today, pretending that they're available on showroom floors, poof, I would buy that, and I would get the USB port put in, and that's it. So, alrighty. So I'm going to close that out because that's a big, fat, gnarly tease. Speaking of an LX, I'm actually picking up an LX in a couple weeks. So why that is pertinent is I'm going to do a side-by-side shootout comparison of the LX, the 310 LX, and the GTX Limited Sea-Doo. And I'm just going to have them lined up, and it's just going to be me just going good, better, good, and just back and forth. So I hope you guys like that kind of stuff. So, all right, 310X review is on Wednesday. 310 LX shows up in a couple weeks. Jerseys, we got the red jerseys. Jerseys. All right. Red jerseys are going to go on sale. We're doing a back to school, probably be announced. Actually, this whole week is scheduled out with content. So it might be next week. But we're going to cut 10% off. And that's gonna go live next. I want to say Tuesday. We're gonna change that. So before we even officially announce it on the magazine, I'm letting you guys know, if you have been waiting to get a red jersey, wait 2 days, and we're cutting $5 off, or $5 or $6 off. All right, Jason, I appreciate the patronage. No, I haven't gotten my hands on one, Charlie. I also did a conversation about the Taiga Orca. No news on that. All right. Well, there will be news when it comes to tonight's topic. Okay. Trigger warning. Woo! Trigger warning. Trigger warning. Trigger warning. Trigger warning. Woo! We're going to talk about politics. I feel like a morning DJ right now. Should be like ringing a bell and doing sound effects on the keyboard. Trigger warning. If you do not like chocolate and peanut butter being mixed together, we're talking politics and the jet ski industry, because they absolutely have one. They have one to do with the other. Well, one has something to do with the other. The other one has no pertinence to the first. All right. So if you don't like hearing me talk about it, if you don't like my political opinions, if you don't like my stance, if you are easily triggered and go, he's saying things that are different than CNN, he must be a Trumpster, just tap out. Just tap out. I appreciate you coming in, but if you're going to bitch to me about my politics, just bail. Just bail. All right? You're not hurting my feelings, okay? This is not my source of income. Okay? This is not my primary source of income. I'm not worried about it. So, I'm sorry. But I'm letting you know, as of right now, we're going to talk about the current economy. We're going to talk about recession and how that's going to directly affect next year's models. Babaloo. Okay. So, this last week, I did something really out of character and started writing I actually started with an editorial. Started writing an editorial. And the editorial, I kept digging up more and more. I started doing more and more research and started doing a little bit more background checks, and just my old school journalism kicked in. And the more I dug, the more the article turned into an actual article. And I cut out all the editorial stuff and made it an article. And the article was, if you guys didn't already look, if you didn't already subscribe and you didn't read the article was understanding oil and understanding where we are financially as a nation in regards to energy and oil. Okay. Right now, there is all untouched by crude oil in your life. In your life. Okay. Unless you are living on a self-sustaining farm and growing your own produce and using your own fertilizer from your own chicken coop or your own cattle, everything you get, everything you touch, everything you put in your mouth, everything you shower, bathe with, and motivate through this world is touched by crude oil. Okay? Is there a better system? Most likely. Is there probably a better way to live? Most likely. All right? I'm not here to extrapolate on graphene energy and solar winds and all. I'm not Greta Thunberg, and I'm not going to offer different solutions. All I did was dig into domestic oil production, what actions or policies directly affect the cost of, or directly affect oil production, how domestic oil production within the U.S. directly affected the global market, i.e. cost and supply, and where do we go from here? How do we fix it? How do we amend it? Okay. I also broke down every red cent that goes into a dollar or a gallon of gasoline. All right. Because everyone's like, the oil companies are just taking the consumer to the woodshed. Oh my gosh. They are just bilking us. Oh, we're just being raked over the coals. So I'm like, okay, well, let's find out how much money they make off of it. Okay. That's fine. They make of the total cost of a gallon of gas, ExxonMobil or Shell or whomever, Texaco, make 39%. They keep 39% of the total cost of a gallon of gas. That's it. They get 39%. Now, you can say, well, that's either a $2 gallon of gas or a $5 gallon of gas. So what do we do? Okay. Well, let's say we want to lower the cost of that 39%. What could we do? Well, now the 39% is transportation, refining, processing, and second transportation. All right, just 4 things. Well, how do we lower the cost of those 4 things? Transportation, well, let's not transport it by truck. Let's not transport it by boat, because I'm old enough to remember the Exxon Valdez. And I remember, was it not Event Horizon? That was a movie where Sam Neill pulled his eyes out. The Gulf, when the Gulf freaking completely became an oil slick. It's not Event Horizon. It's something Horizon. Deepwater Horizon. Yeah, BP. The Deepwater Horizon. Okay. So, anyways, how do we lower the cost of transportation? Well, pipelines. And the neat thing about a pipeline is that pipelines are totally regulated by not only the EPA, they are regulated by the Trades Commission, they are regulated by the company itself who maintains it. It's maintained by a absolute parade of different companies because they're all licensed. And it's like, okay, well, how about pipelines? All right. Pipelines are safe. Pipelines are totally scrutinized. And you don't have a drunk sea captain crashing into an iceberg with a pipeline. Oh, okay. The second thing was refineries. You have new, more efficient refineries. The problem is that licensing for the last 35 years has kept refineries from being demolished and built again. Instead, they've had to retrograde these refineries. So, unfortunately, you're looking at refineries that have been doing this for years. And there were permits for 3 new refineries within the U.S. that got shot down with the same executive order that cut the legs out of the Keystone XL pipeline. So I was like, okay, well, listen, I'm not trying to make it a Biden thing. I'm not trying to make it a Trump thing. I'm not trying to make it a politics thing. I'm just putting out facts. All right. Right now, oil drilling is handled 91% of the country's crude and natural gas is drilled or mined. Drilled, I shouldn't say mined, because they're not. I didn't count fracking in any of it, because fracking is a band-aid, and even the oil companies will tell you that fracking is a band-aid. Fracking destroys equipment. They tear through equipment within 4 years. It's a 4 or 5 year turnaround. And they're all like, we'd rather not do fracking personally. So we're not even going to talk about it. But the big thing was, hey, 91% of the country's oil and natural gas comes from independent contractors. Independent contractors are all of these independent contractors by the IRS. And I put the link to the IRS in the article, the hyperlinks. Click the hyperlinks, people. The IRS classifies an independent drilling contractor as selling less than $5 million retail in product, which is gas and crude, natural gas and crude, that they cannot sell more than 5 million, or they become too big and then they have to become they have to classify as a different company. All right. And maximum 12 employees. Or no, that's not true. Average 12 employees. I've got 10 employees. I could be a contractor. Okay. So, here we go. All of this stacks up. All of this adds up. Why is Kevin talking about gas and oil and all this crap? And oh my gosh, let's talk about the spark, Kevin. I just want to hear about the Satan spark. Okay, so here we go. Why am I bothering talking about this? Because this has skyrocketed. All right, it is multiplied the cost. It has multiplied the cost of everything exponentially. All right. Pound of bacon. How much is a pound of bacon, guys? Right now, I buy good bacon. I don't buy garbage, freaking Farmer John, Publix brand. No. I buy good, thick cut, right brand, WRIGHT, right brand bacon, hardwood smoked bacon. All right. That's $12 a pound. It's $12 a pound. Okay. What was it 3 years ago? I looked at a receipt. I looked at my bank statement just for shits and giggles. It was $5.50. It was $5.50. It is more than doubled. A pound of bitchin' bacon, a pound of good hardwood smoked bacon, thick cut bacon, is more than doubled in 3 years. Okay. Chicken, beef, pork, fish, for that matter, fresh vegetables. I'm not talking processed food, okay? Processed food is trash. Processed food is what kills Americans, all right? That's why Europeans who come to visit the States go, your food is crap. We're like, what are you talking about? It's great. We're like, no, it's not. It's sugary, fatty crap. Everything comes out of a can or a bag. Nothing's fresh. Okay. unless you make a concerted effort. Makes a concerted effort to eat fresh. Okay. And I'm trying to. God help me, I'm trying. Okay. So let's cross off as I go along my list here. All right. That's just groceries. Everyone's talking about cost of gas. Gas is more than doubled. All right. It's 2.5 times. Cost of gas is 2.5 times what you were paying 3 years ago. You're feeling it. Everyone with cash in their wallet knows that let's go to Washington. Okay, yeah. That your dollar bill is worth less today than it was 3 years ago. Now, you want to know how much less it's worth? This is now worth that from 3 years ago. Actually, maybe even a little bit more. That's how much a dollar is worth today as it was 3 years ago. That is not because of Vladimir Putin. It's not because of Brexit. It's not because of Beijing. It's not because the stars have aligned and it's the new age of Aquarius and your healing crystal that you wear around your neck is somehow, it's because of Will Smith. It's because of the CERN Hadron Collider, people. It tore a hole in the universe. We're living in a new false reality because the Hadron Collider played God, and here we are. That's why we're seeing Bigfoot. That's why the Pentagon's coming out with footage of the UFOs. We understand 100% what's going on. We're living in a multiverse. There you go. Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria. Okay. So here we are. We're in a box. Here we are. So everything's gone. All your costs have gone up 2.5 times. Everything has gone up 2.5 times. All right. Well, you're paying 2.5 times for things, for bacon, for energy, for gasoline. Do you think Yamaha, Sea-Doo, and Cowie are paying 2.5 times? They don't get a special deal. Shell's not cutting them some sort of deal on like, oh, well, you're a manufacturer. We're going to give you gas for free. You're just a sweetheart. It's not happening. They're paying it. Okay. What's been the second biggest complaint about the jet ski market this year, besides product not being there, is, oh, well, the dealers are marking up stuff and all the markups. They're just marking things up. The markups. Okay. Well, I had one guy literally who was like, Kevin's being paid by the dealers. Kevin's getting bought out by the dealers. Yeah, I'm really getting a check from Nielsen's Motorsports. Okay. Yeah, they love me. Okay. Nielsen's Motorsports are the guys who called up Yamaha and bitched them out for advertising with me because I dared do an honest review. Okay. I've lost dealers. The first advertiser for the Watercraft Journal dropped me. Sea-Doo dealer. Everyone thinks I'm up Sea-Doo's ass. One of the biggest dealers in the U.S. dropped me. Well, not recently. It was a couple of years ago. But I understand. Not a big deal. They're regional. So, guys. Where are the markups coming from? Okay. You cannot legally change your MSRP once it's announced at the beginning of the model year. You can't. All right. Yes, there's loopholes and you physically can, but none of them are going to do it. Okay. None of them are going to do it. The only time I've ever seen MSRPs change mid-year is when an auto manufacturer makes enough physical changes to a vehicle that they say it is a mid-year change. That's when you see a 64.5 Mustang. That's when you see a 69.5 446 pack A12 Roadrunner. Okay. That's when these cars spring into existence and they have an all new MSRP. Kawasaki is not going to change, is not going to make a 22.5 GT or 310X dash SL or whatever. I don't know, I'm making it up. Okay. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They cannot change the MSRP. So what's happening is that they're looking at, oh my gosh, it's now so much more money to ship something across the states or across the world. All right. You know what the cost of containers, big metal shipping containers? Do you know that they've gone up 300%? 300%. I want you to take that number and I want you to write it on your hand and go 300%. And I want you to take anything that you pay for in your life and multiply it by 300% and think, can I still live with this? Okay, I spend on average $5 a month on soap. Multiply that by 300% and go, well, I need soap, but boy, I don't want to pay that. Think about it. Sea-Doo, Kawasaki, Yamaha. They're not flying those parts over. They're not on C-130 Hercules. All right? They're on container ships that go pit-putt across the Pacific Ocean into the Port of Long Beach or the Port of Los Angeles, and then get put on a big rig and then gets towed all the way out. All right? They are paying through the butt just to move parts over. All right? Yamaha engines, Kawasaki engines, all made in Japan. Then they got to take a finished Sea-Doo or finished Yamaha, put it in a container ship or put it in a container, and you can put 10 or 12 jet skis in a container, and you got to put 10 or 12 jet skis in a container that you're now paying 300% more on for the container, and send it to New Zealand or send it to Brazil or send it to Portugal or wherever the hell it's going. Think about it. Think about the cost increase. Think about the cost increase. All right. And they legally cannot change the MSRP. So where are they going to recoup that cost? That sudden hike? Where is it going to come from? Tinkerbell ain't showing up with pixie dust and going, it's okay, we'll cover it. It's not happening. Where is it coming out of? It's coming out of your ass. That's where it's going to come out of. It's coming out of you guys' wallet. Everyone who must have a brand new unit, you're going to pay. And guess what? The dealer's sitting there going like, shit. All right, now I'm paying it. I have to buy that jet ski. They're buying it. All right, they buy it off of Yamaha. Broward Motorsports buys the jet skis from corporate, obviously not at retail price. I understand. But then they go, crap, my cost is shot up 300% or whatever the percentage is. And they go, how are we going to recoup that? Because we're working within this budget. All right. I got to pay the sales guy. I got to pay service. I got to pay for setup. I got to pay for this. Blah, 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 blah. Stacks up. So what are they going to do? Suddenly, there's surcharges. Suddenly, there's transportation fees. Suddenly, there's whatever other fee. And everyone looks at it and goes, this is BS. This is a bunch of crap. Well, guess what? Guess what? The little guy always pays. All right? A gallon of milk suddenly triples in price. Guess who's going to cover that cost? Ralph's grocery store is not going to cover it. Vaughn's isn't going to cover it. Kroger ain't going to cover it. You're going to pay for it. Dairy farmer ain't going to pay for it. You are. That's how it goes. Welcome to a consumer market. All right? Mark, very good point. Thank you. But I was told 300% from a representative from corporate. So I'm going off of that. So I'm going off of that one. All right. So let's keep going down this tunnel of shite. So anyways, cost of production has gone up. Cost of product has gone up. Does it cost more to make the product? Technically, yes. Because the energy cost, yes. The material cost, getting it there. There's so many things that are shipped, so many things that are transported, and it just adds up and adds up and adds up and adds up and adds up, and it keeps escalating. So, what does this mean for 2023? Every single jet ski, every single unit, from the base model Spark to the top of the line Kawasaki 310 LX, which is currently the most expensive jet ski, is going up a lot. I was told, not from a representative from Yamaha, so I do not know if this is true, but I was told that even the base model EX is going up $600. All right. Multiply that across all the lineup. Again, a person not from Yamaha, but a representative of the model line, representative of the industry, gave me that number. All right. 600 is not a lot of money for an EX. Triple that. Triple that for an FX SVHO Cruiser or an FX Limited. $1,800. Typically, we saw Yamaha, or excuse me, we saw Sea-Doo across the board last year go up on average $800. Across the board, $800. All right. Some less, Sparks less, GTIs less, supercharged stuff, $800. I've been told possibly double that. $1,600, $1,500, $1,600, $1,800. All right. They're all going up. They're all going up a lot. All right. Normally, it's a little bit. Normally, it's $400 or $500 or $250 or something to that effect, especially if it's bold new especially if it's new stickers and colors. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, the entire Kawasaki 310 lineup, zero change, including colors. The colors are just carrying over. They just doubled the colors. All right. A 23 is going to be identical to a 22 in color and layout, going up in price. No change. Excuse me. It's going up in price. It's all going up. Okay. Because they're trying, the hope is that when you get your receipt, you get your, now this is not an invoice for a jet ski, but you get your receipt, and you don't see all these stupid little add-ons on the bottom. And you go, well, what's this fee? And what's this fee? And what's this fee? Instead, it just goes, here it is. It's all in there. All those added fees are in there. Trevor, everything. What part of everything? Everything. 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 All the skis across the board are going up, and quite a bit. Just going to let you know. All right? Because that price, excuse me, that cost of production, that cost of transport has to be carried out. It has to be factored in. It has to. Because they just, yeah, it's okay, Trevor. I'm sorry. I'm all spooled up. So everything's gone up. Everything. Yeah, well, that's true, Greg. But they are really hoping to try to get a lot of those little tacked ons out of the equation, because a lot of people are screaming mad about all the little tack ons. So they're just going to factor it in there. But here's the problem. If you went and ordered an RX PX 300 and they factored in all of that kind of stuff, you'd be looking at an extra $3,000 on top of that ski. Can you imagine the cost? Or you imagine the absolute scanner's brain explosion moment when people are like, "Oh yeah, dude, I'm gonna go get an RX PX for $17,500," and you show up and you're like, "No, it's $19,900." What? They're like, "Yeah, it's up $1,500 or $2,500." Whoa, dude. Well, voting matters. All right. So prices are going up. We still got 4 more things on our ladder to hell. All right. So what do you guys want to talk about first? What skis are being pushed back, or what stuff is staying the same? Don't know, Henry. I have no idea. Could be $800. Could be $1,000. Could be $600. I have no idea. No idea. I appreciate the super chat, Henry. I got no clue. Got no idea. Okay. So, what stays the same? Let's bury the lead. Told you already, the Kawasaki 310 lineup stays the same. Same colors. Electric blue for the 310X, which is my preference. Cowie lime green for the LX-S, which is a terrible name. And gold metallic for the 310 LX. All right? Those are staying the same. What I have been told, I'll just do it by brand, is they are all but halting. Well, no, there is no production of the naturally aspirated LX. That's what I heard. I was expected, I've been talking about it. We were expecting, everything was on point to see the redesigned naturally aspirated LX. It's not happening next year. They pushed it back a year. All right. Hopefully things change. That's the hope. But they cannot eat the cost of another unit. It's just not going to happen. So the naturally aspirated Ultra is simply not being produced next year. It's just not going to happen. All right. There will not be a 2023 naturally aspirated Ultra. If you want one, it's going to be the current 22. My understanding is that may be the same story for the rest of the lineup, for the STXs and for the SXR 160. That, or they might stay at a very, very, very throttled down production run, a very limited production run. I did talk to Kawasaki about this, and I can say that Kawasaki says we have hopes to increase the production run and then let it hang. That was it. We have hopes to increase. And then the rest of the conversation went the way that I've already been talking about. Which went like deflating a balloon. All right. But it is very unlikely that you're going to see any color changes from Kawasaki. I would actually say 0. And you're going to see very limited production runs of the naturally aspirated units. That's the STXs and the stand-up SXR. They hope to they strongly believe that they will maintain the current production run. That is basically what they're hoping, just to keep pace. They're like, if we can keep our lap speed, we're in good shape. Okay. So they're letting the other thing about Cowie that they let me know was that they are letting their dealers know this is what we're making. If we have it and you order it, you can have it. But if you're not Johnny on the spot and you show up late to the party and you don't put your orders in, chances are you're not going to get one. All right. That's kind of where they're at. Is Cowie's playing it really conservative. Okay. Yamaha is changing colors and decals. There will be a handful of carryover colors, but not a lot from what I've been told. Prices are going up across the board, which I've already hammered. All right. There will be no new models, no new units. My understanding is that it's going to be maintain. Now, I will say something that was rather surprising to me. And I don't know how far I trust this one. But, so I'm going to give you, I'll share it, but it's going to be one of those kind of like rumor mill, take it with a grain of salt sort of things. A rep from Yamaha told my source that they might do some fidgeting with the production runs so that there's more high-end units this year than naturally aspirated low-end units. There might be more SVHOs or HOs with nicer equipment than the entry-level stuff because their rate of return is a lot better. All right. There's a little better margin. Let's just call it like we see it. All right. There's just a better margin. So they were saying, hey, we believe that there's going to be more SVHOs and more HO cruisers and more high-end units than the low-end stuff. And my response to that was, dude, the holdup was for the high-end, for all the electronics for the high-end stuff. And I know they're still waiting on parts. So how can they say, Faxon, I gave you a link at the very beginning. I appreciate the super chat. I gave you a link at the very beginning regarding the X2. You need to go back to the very, very beginning. Gave you a link. You were the first comment that I had my team put up. So go check that out. I appreciate the super chat, but I'm not going to derail this conversation for that. Because quite frankly, I said I was going to stay pretty mum on that, but it turns out it's not innovative. Someone else is already doing it. So I gave you a link to the article for that. So you're going to have to look at and read an article. Okay. So Yamaha, at least from what we were told, is that they want to go more high-end this year or produce more high-end units because they feel that they have enough entry-level, low-end, budget-friendly units still in stock. I contend that they're still waiting on microchips and dashboards and all that Mickey Mouse iPad crap. So it doesn't make any sense to say, hey, we're going to build more of those when those units were the ones that were problematic in the first place. Okay. So Sea-Doo. Sea-Doo is an interesting nut to crack for me because I heard a lot. Oh boy. I've heard a lot of different stuff. But interesting thing. Sea-Doo is the only manufacturer who still clings on to the whole media intro tradition. Although they now, because of some international medias who really screwed the Can-Am market or the Can-Am scene, kind of ruined it for everyone. Excuse me. Sea-Doo still does a really good job about getting the media on brand new skis really fast. They have something come out. I can't snap my fingers. I hurt my hand. There we go. But they're really good about getting us on units. Now, this year, they're not doing a big whiz bang. And it's going to be kind of a small little thing for just a handful of people. And that leads me to believe that we are definitely not seeing the spark, because when it's a big deal, like a redesigned spark, it's going to be a big deal. All right. Instead, BRP has made it a point that their other pontoon brands and other boat brands, Manitou, is it Manitou or Manitou? I don't know how to pronounce that. I think it's an Indian. I think it's a native Canadian name, Manitou. Anyway, but that's a high-end pontoon brand, and there's going to be a major reveal for the Manitou brand, and their bass boat fishing boat line is going to get. Basically, I think they're all getting jet drives. I think you're going to see a 600 horsepower, non-plastic, steel-hulled Manitou that makes 600 horse using twin Ace engines. Manitou. Okay, Manitou. All right, cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. But I don't have a lot of info on the Manitous on the pontoons and all the boats, but I do know that the platform is what they were really pushing, and Project M, I think they called it, and that they were going with the jet drives. So that's kind of the big reveal this year is the pontoons, and they're kind of going to the rich guys because the people who have money are going to spend money regardless. And, us peons who like to fart around with jet skis, you can just have some crumbs. But what is hard confirmed, I don't know. CD Switch will still be there. I don't know production. My understanding is that production everyone is maintaining current production run. That is what they're pushing. We can't increase production, but we're going to do our damnedest to not decrease. All right. So we're in a holding pattern, fellas. That's where we are. We're just circling. We're just circling the airport. Okay. Sorry, read a comment. All right. That was funny. So what about Sea-Doo? Sea-Doo Spark redesign gets pushed back minimum a year. Sea-Doo Spark gets pushed back a year. But what is hard confirmed for Sea-Doo, which should be pretty cool. We all saw the little teaser video that Sea-Doo put out. Let's look it up. I'm going to look up the article because I did an article on it. I don't remember this guy's name to save my life. Here we go. What's this guy's name? Daniel Ricciardo. All right. So Daniel Ricciardo is, I don't know. I don't follow Formula One racing. I don't care. Formula One racing is just the uber rich doing uber rich shit. I don't care. All right. It just doesn't do a thing for me. I mean, don't get me wrong. The engineering and speeds and the level of engineering in these machines is impressive. I'm just not into Formula One racing. But, dude, Kyle. Nope. Not wasting my time. Daniel Ricciardo, Formula One racer, really famous hometown hero from Australia, gets he is gifted a very customized RX-PX 300. It's painted. It's got a custom seat. It's got some custom raised lettering. It's got some frou-frou crap on it. I look at it, I'm like, stock sponsons. I can see right there, stock sponsons. So what the hell? I reach out to Sea-Doo. Sea-Doo goes, watch, that one's a real thing. I go, really? He goes, yeah, that's a real thing. I said, really? And they're like, yeah, there's something to that. They won't look like that. They won't have all the little custom stuff out there. But the Daniel Ricciardo thing, we set him up with some of the 23 goods on it. Oh, okay. Interesting. So my understanding is, and this has been a long, slow burn, is that you're probably going to see an upgrade in handling and traction components. Steering, handling, sponsons, intake grate, steering. That's my take. And what that is going to do is that is going to be marketed to you as a new X series. Okay? It's going to be the new X series. RX-PX, RX-TX, possibly GTR X. Possibly GTR X. We'll see. Okay. I think that's shooting for the moon. I don't think there's going to be a new unit, personally. But you'll see anything with an X at the end, get some new whiz-bang stuff. All right? No, Ray. No, Yamaha's carrying everything over. Listen to the words that I say. I mean them intentionally. They have purpose. So, that's really it. So, let's see. Push back. What to expect. Here's what I expect you to expect. Henry, good question. Super chat. Henry asked, placed a deposit on 2023 Superjet back in June. Should I be nervous? And how does it compare to two-stroke? Had both a square nose and a round nose. Very different skis. In fact, most people, they like that the new Superjet is smaller, more nimble than an SXR. But in comparison to a round nose Superjet, very different. Very, very different. Depends on your height, weight, riding ability. But the Superjet aftermarket industry is starting to catch up with the new SJ. And that will make a big difference. All right. But I personally really enjoy it. But I do not compare it to a square nose. I don't compare it to an SXR. I don't compare it to an SXR 800. I compare it on its own merits. I just said this is what it is because it's so unique. It's not an evolution. It is a major jump. So you have to look at that ski as its own machine. I think it's... Oh, no. I have not heard anything negative in regards to build quality of the Superjet. That's one thing that good question. Two strokes break down. Two strokes always break down, but you put them back together. Now you're buying a four-stroke. Hope you're good with engines because fixing a four-stroke's a lot tougher than it is a two-stroke. Two-strokes are really easy. All right. So let's get back to the topic. What to expect. Expect production delays. Expect transportation delays. Expect there to be bidding wars. Expect there to be everything that's been happening this year. It's happening again. Same verse, second verse, same as the first. All right? We're just going to go roundy, 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 round. That's what's happening. Second verse, same as the first, guys. It is not better. Nothing has gotten better. And I'll tell you what, I was thinking about it because I was talking, and again, conversations, people that don't want to get in trouble for talking to me because I'm the loudmouth a-hole who shares everything. All right. Manufacturers, I can say this for a fact, is Yamaha has brought a lot of their manufacturing in-house. All right. Because they got burned in 2020 and 2021. So they brought a ton of stuff indoors. They said, okay, we can't farm this crap out. We got to have it indoors. Okay, great. Smart move. Autonomy. I like it. Do it. Self-reliance. Do it. So do it. So what happens is Yamaha starts bringing a bunch of stuff indoors. Okay, manufacturing. So they have literally improved the manufacturing process. They're helping, or they're doing their best to lower their costs. But at the exact same time, the American dollar has gone and dropped. So like crap. So it doesn't matter how efficient you are at bailing water if the water keeps coming in faster. Do you understand what I am saying? All right. Things are going to get worse before they get better. I don't know how to convey this. I really don't know. And there's going to be people who are like, I don't understand. Things are confusing. Why aren't there jet skis in the jet ski dealership? And I'm going to be like, dude, am I like this crazy Old Testament prophet on a hill in a robe who like came out of a cave with a big wooden stick? And he's like, the end is nigh. I don't know what more to do. All right. So there's a lot of guys who are going to go, well, if I pay everything up front, if I pay the whole 20 grand up front, that's going to ensure that I get my jet ski first. Nope. How many people have a couple $1,000s in deposits out here? Honestly. How many of you guys have money waiting on skis that you've been waiting 6 months for, 8 months for, 9 months, a year? Guys, I got an email Monday or Tuesday. Monday or Tuesday. I don't know where the guy is. I think he's up in New England. He says, I got my deposit on a 2021 FX SVHO, whatever the heck it was. And he says, but I ordered my deposit. And he goes, my dealership didn't get a big run of them. And I got bumped to 22. Oh man, that sucks. And it's August, Kevin. Or it's almost August. And he says, my dealer is really cool, and they're really apologetic, but I think I'm going to get bumped to 23. And I wrote him back and I said, I guarantee you. I'm like, I will send you a gift card to 31 Flavors ice cream if I am wrong. So at least you can have yourself an ice cream cone while you realize that you're waiting 3 years for a jet ski. Or 2 years for a jet ski. I'm telling you. Guys. And it's a crapshoot. All right. If you're in Lincoln, Nebraska, well, I don't know. Actually, Kawasaki plants on Lincoln. So if you're out in Omaha, Nebraska, all right, you're in a low volume area. You ain't getting one. Now, if you're in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and you can be Johnny on the spot, you'll probably get one. But I'm telling you right now, the high volume areas are going to get them before the low volume areas are going to get them. Expect that. And dealers are going to go, Kevin's wrong. Kevin's being a doomsdayist. Oh my gosh, this guy's spreading bad information. Okay, all I'm sharing is what I've seen the last year and a half to 2 years. Low volume dealers, Hebron, Ohio, is not getting a big number of freaking units, especially if it's not ordered already. Sorry, bad news, dude. It's not going to happen. But if you're in Tampa, Florida, Clearwater, you're in Costa Mesa, California, okay. Bro, it's preferential treatment because they're gonna put units that are gonna move, that are gonna sell. They don't want flooring, and they definitely don't want to transport a ski that's been waiting in a dealer floor for 4 months to be moved to another customer or to another advertiser. Or, oh my gosh, I'm having a seizure. They're not going to pay for the jet ski that is sitting on the floor for 3 months in Hebron, Ohio, and some guy on the East Coast, in the Outer Banks of North Carolina goes, "Oh, I found one. It's in Ohio. Now I got to pay $2,000 to ship it out, or $1,000 to ship it out, or $500 to ship it out." It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. This year is going to be the culling of the herd. Culling. Culling. What does it mean to cull the herd? Means to eliminate the weak ones. All right? That is what's going to happen. And the high volume dealers are going to get the units before the low volume guys are. So I don't know what to tell you. If you're not in a high volume area, I really don't know what to tell. I really don't. Moorhead, thank you for the super chat. Did you have a question or just the support? What is a high or low volume dealer? Really? I mean, I don't know what the threshold is. I'll tell you what, Mountain Motorsports, what did they move? They moved 500 units in 2018. I think there were 500. I think Riva did 380 that same year, or almost 400 that year. I mean, one of the biggest Sea-Doo dealers in the Mid-South, America's Motorsports, he moves a little over 100. So it all depends. It's all regional. All right. So it really, it just depends. It just depends. So here's the last thing. Everyone wants to know, what's my time frame? When am I going to see my jet ski? Hell if I know. Guys, I don't know. I have no idea. You want to know why? Because the dealers don't know. And because the manufacturers don't know. All right? You ever heard that phrase, I'm waiting for my ship to come in? Gotta wait for my ship to come in. Do you know where that comes from? Yeah, you have any idea about the etymology of that word? Waiting for it's Riva Racing. But yeah, they did it like that. It was kind of cool. Waiting for your ship to come in was international trade, sailing ships. And no, a couple of years after that, or a couple of centuries after that. All right. Think 17th century, 18th century. All right. People had different goods that were being transported, all that kind of stuff. And people would wait at the dock. They were given they were given a time frame when their cargo that they had purchased from overseas was finally coming in so that they could sell the goods. All right. Let's say you were a textile tradesman. All right. And you sold carpets and rugs and hand braided rugs. Okay. And you had 50 rugs coming in from Persia. And you were waiting at, the port in Boston for that sailing ship, that cutter, to come in. And they were told that ship is scheduled to come in the week of the 1st. And you were there bright and early, and you were praying every day for that ship to come in. And you waited, 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 and you waited. And you had all your money invested in buying all these Persian rugs, and you had customers waiting to buy these rugs. And you can't sell anything because the boat hasn't come in with your rugs from Persia. All right. Until the day that you pray to God it hasn't sunk out in the freaking out in the Mariana Trench. And that boat comes in. They offload your pallet full of rugs, and you can take them to your store and you can sell those rugs. And now you've made all your money back. Okay. These manufacturers are waiting for their ships to come in. They're waiting for their engines to come in, to be loaded up onto a container ship, for that container ship to come over, and that container ship to be unloaded in Long Beach, and for that that emptied container to be shipped out to Noonan, Georgia, so that they can assemble those Yamahas with those engines that came over from across the continental United States, which came over across the Pacific Ocean from Japan. All right. They are waiting and waiting and waiting. And the cost of that is murdering your jet ski. They are waiting for their ships to come in. Darby, thank you. Now, I have a question for you, Darby. All right? I'm going to put you on the spot. At the worst point, I was told that there was 73 container ships moored off of Los Angeles, Long Beach, or, around Palos Verdes, all around that area, waiting to be unloaded. That was like over a year ago. But you're East Coast. Okay. All right. I thought you were West Coast. Sorry. So, anyways, what to expect is delays. Do you want to act first and be Johnny on the spot and say, hey, dealership Joe, I want the first one in blue or whatever? And he goes, okay, man, I promise you're on paper. You're going to be the first one to come in. Okay, great. But you got to give me 10 grand up front. Oh, dude, that's a lot of money. Well, that's the way it's going right now, buddy. Do you want to wheel and deal? Or do you want to sit and wait? Or do you want to buy a used unit? Or do you want to just keep the unit you got? It's up to you. Don't ask me. I don't know. I'm not your mom. I can't make that decision for you. Okay? That's entirely up to you. But I assure you, things will not get better until domestic policy changes in regards to domestic oil production. That is the number one factor. All right? Domestic oil production is what dictates all of this. And you could go, well, how could American oil production really, really have that big of a have that big of an effect on Japanese shipping? Well, did you know that within 2 years, domestic American oil production increased by 31% in 2 years? Shattered records. And I have the links in the article. And they're not links to Fox News. They're not links to Alex Jones. They're links to the federal government. The Energy Administration Institute, to federal websites. All right. 31% increase in domestic oil production means that the American consumer is not buying effectively 400,000 barrels of oil from the international market, which means there's now an extra 400,000 barrels of oil in the market. What does increased supply do to the cost of a product? Lowers it. If there's a lot of it, if it's plentiful, then it's not rare, and there's no bidding war. All right? There's no bidding war. I don't know. What's a commodity that we have in abundance? It doesn't matter. All right? We literally dumped. We just materialized through American production in 2019 an extra 400,000 barrels of oil a month. And that is fentanyl. Scott. Not enough. Not enough people take. Not enough of the wrong people take it. Ugh. Anyway, sorry, that got dark. But yeah, 400,000. That's how many. All right, we averaged the American oil production averaged high 200,000s, 275, 285, 290. We were a high 200s for decades. And I'm talking Reagan administration, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama. We maintained pretty much the same oil production. The oil production numbers are on government websites. I'm literally using government websites. All right. Would you like me to bring up the government website? I will bring up the government website because people think I'm a liar. Okay. I'll do it. Here we go. Let me bring up the oil. Let me bring this up. Blah, blah. You know, I'm going to bring it right over here. Here. Okay. Here's the article. Understanding oil production policy and what you're paying for. This went live on Watercraft Journal on Friday. Talk about here's oil, U.S. oil field production, crude. Guess this is 2015 right here. 16. Ooh, we're increasing. All of a sudden, 2018, 2019, and then we crash because we were producing 30% more oil than we had ever in the history of the country. And then suddenly demand went to half. It crashed the price of oil to $3.50 a barrel, guys. $3.50 a barrel. I'm like, maybe I should go buy a barrel of oil. Anyway. All righty. Let's bring up. Here we go. U.S. Energy Information Administration. Here we go. Woohoo! Here we go. Here is all of the oil production in the continental, or all the U.S. domestic oil production since 1920. Since 1920. Pick a year. I can tell you how much oil we made that year. All right. Here we go. 2017. 275. This is in the hundreds of thousands. I'm just going to go starting January 2017. 275, 255, 284, 273, 284, 273, 286, 286, 273, 286, 286 again, 285, 299. November 2017, we broke 300,000. It was the first time since 1971 that we broke 300,000. All right. But then December 2019, we broke 400,000. All right. We went up by 31% in a year and a half. And you compare 400,000 to what we were doing the day that a certain orange man with goofy hair got sworn into office. All right. From 275 to 400,000. That's 31% increase. Excuse me. All right. That 31% took America from being a net importer from a net importer to net exporter. We began to export oil because we had more than we needed. All right. But then COVID hit 4 months later. And demand was like, hey, we're all staying home. Hey, we're not flying. Hey, we're not traveling. Hey, we're not doing anything for summer, kids. We're not going to school. We're not commuting. We're not doing XYZ. And oil went, dude, what do we do? So they throttled back production. All right. So we look at 2020. All right. January, 398. Then it drops 372. Then it bounces back 396. And we hover. Well, the lowest it got was 301. And that was May. Because that was when April is when everyone got shut down. 2 weeks to stop the spread, right? 2 weeks to stop the spread. Then we hover back in the low 300s. And we never get above 350 until October of 21. And now we're hovering just above 350. We're 352, 316. What the hell? 362, 349, 359. That's where we are 2022. So we're down. We're down in production. I believe the number right now is 20%. All right. And what also is happening is you're going to start seeing whistleblowers. I have this. This is actually already started coming out. Is the reason gas is not only because we put 50 million barrels of reserve into the market, which was asinine, because that's like clearing out your savings to buy groceries. Or no, it's like clearing out your savings and going, okay, kids, we cleared out the savings account. Let's all go to Disney World for a week. No, terrible idea. But we put 50 million barrels into the market, sold some to China, sold some to Russia. Wait, what? Yeah, we did. But the gas you're getting, which they're not telling you, and what refineries are letting people know, is pay attention to the ethanol count, because they're going to start putting those little yellow stickers on gas pumps without you knowing that they've changed the sticker. You're going to see ethanol go up anywhere from 2 to 8%, and that's where it's cheaper. The cheaper gas is. Cheaper gas is corn gas. It's ethanol, and you're not going to be making. You're gonna start having engine problems, guys. Pay attention. It's going to happen. I know, tinfoil hat time. They're turning the frogs gay, but that's what's happening. All right, guys. Well, no, it's not screwed up, Mitchapalooza. It's on purpose. It's on purpose. It's on purpose. They said it was a glitch. They said it was a programming issue. They said it's a software issue. It's on purpose. No, it's because of asinine people who think they can keep riding out and ignore the fuel alarm, and then they get caught out in the freaking intercoastal waterway with no fuel in their tank, and they're going, this stupid jet ski didn't let me know that I didn't have enough gas. That's why there's a countdown clock on them. They're digitally putting countdown clocks on. How many miles you have left? Sea-Doo has it. Yamaha has it. Cowie has it. They all have it now. They all do. Guys, I'm not answering any questions besides super chats. It's been an hour 20. And so I think we're done for tonight. So, guys, thanks again. Use expensive ethanol free. If you can find it in super, I have never found 93 octane ethanol free. At least in my travels. It's usable. Just push the button. It's got a countdown clock. It's got a count. Thank you, Billy. Appreciate it. Always a pleasure. Yeah, 90 no ethanol. Great. What's the minimum octane for your supercharged ski, guys? 91. And I don't recommend shoving octane boost. It doesn't work to silence it. Greg, disappointing news week, but thank you as always. He gave me a super chat for bad news. Yay! Let's hear it. Anyway. Yeah, I know GT. I know the 230 say you can run 87. They're going to run like trash. They always run like trash. They always do. And I always and Charlie, you're right. I always recommend naturally. When someone asks me supercharged or natural, I always tell them natural. I always tell them natural. Because what if you go out too far, or you're at some stupid dock that only has 87? You're screwed. You're screwed. You're going to detonate the hell out of your freaking ski. Your Cowie and your Sea-Doo is going to ping its freaking brains out. The Yamaha will get you home. All right. The Sea-Doo is going to scream and yell at you, and the Cowie is going to go into limp mode. My girlfriend gets beat up enough on the HO. You have an FX HO and she gets beat up on it? That's one of the most cush rides there is, dude. So I don't know what to tell you, Mitch. That's a cush ride. She gets beat up on an FX HO. I don't know what to tell you. Lake Michigan. Okay, well, yeah, Ultra. And it's still going to beat the hell out of you. Hey, Kevin, what about 4-cycle metal lube for jet ski? Like a lead additive? Is that what you're asking for? What do you mean 4-cycle metal lube? Is that an additive? Yeah, I don't know what to tell you on that one. All right. Yeah, sorry, Emil. I don't really know what you mean. All right, guys. Well, have a good night. It was fun. We're going to have videos every day like I normally do. We have articles every day. Kawasaki 310X review comes out Wednesday. So be prepared for that. I think that review came out really, really good. It came out more conversational, a little bit more, I don't know, has a different tone. So check it out. If you guys have a lot of questions, you came in late, you're going to have to scroll back because I really didn't spend a lot of time. I didn't waste a lot of time. So, I didn't waste a lot of time getting into the topic. So I kind of came out of the gate pretty hot. So if you have questions, scroll back and watch the podcast because I'm pretty sure I might have covered your question. All right, fellas, have a good one. We'll talk soon.